Hello and welcome to another Site Supervisor briefing. Greg Evans here, and with me today I have Janeth, a senior developer, and we're talking about managing tasks in Site Supervisor. Janeth, tasks are plentiful on every site. How does Site Supervisor manage them?
That's right, Greg. So we have a dedicated module called Site Tasks on the platform that its sole purpose is to help with that. Site Tasks is a really useful feature for those out in the field. So in this demonstration, we've got a simulation of what it would look like on your mobile. So this experience will be how you see it on a mobile phone or a tablet of sorts. But when you use it on a desktop, you'll see a much broader view. So if we take a look at Tower Park Hotel and go into Site Tasks, which is one of our sample projects, we'll see that this project has several tasks already set up.
Yes, and they fall into the not started, the commenced, completed, and the closed out categories.
That's right. Every task that you create on any project has a life cycle that falls into four very distinct parts. A task that's created starts off as not started, and this you can think of as a draft mode that lets users across multiple businesses collaborate to get the tasks ready before it's kicked off. This could include, including a proper description, attachments, markups, and subtasks, which we'll look at in a second, before it's actually commenced. Now, once it's ready to be commenced and so the first subtask is picked up, it moves into the commence column, and this is when collaboration starts happening. Now, each task could have multiple subtasks, but eventually when everything is completed, the task itself is moved to the completed state. Between the completed state and the closed out state, this allows the principal contractor on the project to review and make sure that everything that was identified has been completed. Once a task is moved out to the closed out phase, it's been filed for future reference. So if we take a look at one of the tasks, for example, say the MFB Building and Surveyor Inspection, you'll see that there's three distinct components to it: details, timeline, and chat. And we'll get to each one in a second. But details shows a high-level overview of what this task is about, a description, and perhaps who's involved with it. And one of the things you may notice is that a task can have a markup associated to it. The importance of this is that this allows the people involved with the task to collaborate and discuss around a very specific drawing and a very specific point in that drawing. That allows to ensure that people aren't there isn't miscommunication between parties that are involved. If we go back out of this and look at the next section, the timeline, this allows people involved with the task to see a sequence of events of how that task is progressing through its life cycle. And the last component, being the chat, is an instant messaging service around a specific task. Allows people to converse and resolve any questions that they might have that has to do with this task specifically.
Does everyone see everyone else's tasks on the project?
No, Greg. So we've spent a lot of time to ensure that people are only allowed to see what they can see. And back in the details section, if we look at the very last part of that, is solely to do with that particular question that you just asked. If I go to edit this, I can decide that this task is only scoped to my business on this site, so no one outside of my business will be able to see it. Or I can say that this task is at the site team level, where if I have permissions to do so, I can assign this task to a different business and then assign it to someone in that business, which allows them to further delegate within their hierarchy if need be.
I think people seeing this who spend half their life on the telephone trying to coordinate others would find this very interesting.
Oh, absolutely. One of the other features that we have is the ability to follow up on a task. Now, a task can get quite hands-on with a lot of users and a lot of businesses. But for a particular reason, say there's a very specific thing that you have to do in this task, and you want to make sure that you don't forget about it, you can follow it up. Now, what does that do? Well, we've just created a link of this task in a completely different module inside Supervisor called To-Dos.
So what is the relationship between tasks and to-dos?
Good question, Greg. So tasks are around things that need to be done on a project. To-Dos is like just your personal area of being able to manage things that you have to get done for yourself. Now, as we can see in this sample user, it could be anything from ensuring that you've done everything you can before the wedding anniversary or the annual salary review that's coming up, or something to do with a particular task that we just saw before. So by creating that follow-up, we've created new to-do just for yourself in your to-do space that says you need to do something with this particular task. I can always click through that and bring that task up no matter which project it is or where that task is within the context of that project. It allows you to create a reference for yourself. You can always bring it up whenever or wherever you are.
What a wonderful tool to manage your tasks. Janeth, thank you very much for your time. Folks, if you ever want more information about Site Supervisor, remember, you can ask us anything. We'll see you next time.